What's poppin', everybody? Hello and welcome to Popcorn Culture. My name is Ben Carlin and I am your host. Here with me today is my brother Jay, who will be in every episode.
Happy New Year, man.
I know.
Welcome back to the office.
We've made it to 2025.
I know. I can't believe it. Quarter century.
A quarter century.
It's kind of weird to think about.
I know. Yeah. Thank goodness there's no like quarter Quell. You know?
Oh, right.
like the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
What happens in the first one? Everybody has to like vote for who goes from their town.
Is that what happens in the first one?
I think
They have
so.
to choose who goes, because in the second one is double, and the third one is from existing champions.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Have to vote. That's terrible.
It is so terrible. Oh man, the Hunger Games. One of those series that I actually feel like when it first came out, I was like, I felt like it was just kind of like a fad, you know. And then they made the movies, and it was kind of like, you know, it felt like we still kind of in this like book adaptation saga, period of time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, yeah, they made the movies, and like, you know, they're good, and Jennifer Lawrence and all that type of stuff, you know, Peter Millark. Who doesn't love it?
Right.
But like the further I get into like the Hunger Games, I'm like, this stuff is good.
It's it's like, it's deep.
It's deep, yeah.
It's deep.
It definitely, it's like, I feel like it's aging better than I expected it to.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, not to say that it's not like incredibly violent and, you know, kind of terrible to think about, but it is interesting. It is interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot to go back to, and I'm excited about the new book that's coming out.
I know, it's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, yeah, so for the year of 2025, I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't kick off with the classic discussion of any New Year's Rezzies.
Any resolutions or goals or themes or anything?
Yeah, because I actually stumbled across what I thought was kind of like an interesting like concept for how to do resolutions, because I think that it's kind of become like a little bit of a trope. Like everybody kind of understands, like it's hard to just wake up one day and just be like, I'm different now. Yeah, like I'm gonna change like a whole facet of my personality, and it's like, you know, the pursuit of self-improvement is something, you know, like largely a good thing, I think. But it can be hard to just like make that decision. But at the same rate, I also think the turn of the year there is something about it that feels like new.
I know. Well, I think for me, it's like a lot of times, like after Thanksgiving, there tends to be a lot of like opportunity to indulge.
True.
You know, like there's like holiday parties or, you know, Christmas festivities, and families are coming over a lot. You know, it's like, oh, we got Beth's family coming over today, and we're going over to mom and dad's tomorrow, and then we're going on a trip with these people. And it's like, there's like there's a lot of opportunity to indulge. And then people are baking cookies, and, you know, I mean, Isybelle showed up at my house one day and just delivered me a plate of candy, which was lovely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was delicious.
But like stuff like that is just happening. You know, so I think, you know, you can get into a very routine, like, it's Christmas. It's like it's an opportunity to just like let go a little bit, to not care as much, just be like, it's fine. But then New Year's, I feel like it is a good, like, okay, this is my official stopping point.
Right, yes.
Yeah. Because I'm not just going to wait for it to wither. Like, this is my line in the sand moment. I need to like get back on track with things.
Exactly. And it does sort of feel like the first few months of the year as well. I mean, I guess there's St. Patrick's Day in March, but if I'm not mistaken, there's no like major holidays. You have Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day,
I guess,
aka Easton Van Pavia Day.
Easton Van Pavia Day.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I would assume that Valentine's Day is a holiday where it can be rather polarizing in terms of what your relationship with it is.
Yeah.
Like either I could imagine you like go hard and it's like a big holiday for you and your significant other.
Yeah.
Or it's just the kind of thing where it's like, hey, did you do anything? It's like, I didn't really do anything. You want to agree? Like we're not doing anything.
Right. I know, yeah. For like me and Ben, it's like, it is really not a big deal at our house.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, if we just go out on dates other times as well. And it's like, the other thing is if you go out on Valentine's Day, it tends to be really crowded everywhere.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, that is to me what tells me that some people do make an occasion.
Well, I mean, yes, definitely. There are times in my life where it has felt extremely important. But at this point, at the moment, it no longer really does.
Yes, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. And this year we're going to be on tour for it. So we will not even be physically home.
Yeah, we're not be in the same state as our wives.
Yeah. So, but anyway, but I saw kind of a new take on the New Year's resolution that I thought was kind of kind of interesting. And like, I know that there's like that idea of like themes, which I think maybe popularized, or else what I know it from is like CGP Grey.
Yeah.
And I know that he sort of has like his own methodology for coming up with like what, the new themes will be for the year. And like, it's like if it's organization, then it's kind of like you just sort of like value organization more in like any area of your life where you can like find it. Is that a fair?
Yeah, that sounds like, it's not like, if you have like a resolution to like do a specific thing every single day, it's very easy to fail. If you have a theme that's just like, organization, it's just like, as long as you're trying to be more organized, most of the time you're pretty much succeeding.
Right. So I think what I'm about to say would fit kind of into that vein, because then there's also like the like very like setting like specific goals. I think is another like way where it's like, instead of saying like I want to run more, it would be like, I want to run like at least 10 times per month.
Right.
So then it's kind of like you got like some kind of like, what does it mean to run more?
Right.
Like that, like you've established some type of like guideline for what that might mean. But the thing that I found that I thought was kind of cool is like, and it kind of matches like, Alice has been going through like kind of her own spiritual awakening, I guess you could say, lately. But I think one of the big things or themes that she seems to keep coming back to is this idea of like setting your intentions. So like, and a lot of that is just simply like, going into like Christmas morning or whatever and just being like, you know what? I'm not going to think about work. I'm going to be present. I'm going to lean into all the things. It's like, I am going to like fully embrace the fact that today is the holiday and just soak it in,
Right.
And
yeah.
like, and I mean, just making that active decision can sometimes then like, infiltrate your behaviors as the day goes on. So, maybe you get to mom and dad's for the Christmas that morning. And it's like, hey, I want a mimosa. And it's like, you know what? I do. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that because it's part of all of this.
Right.
And so it just makes it more fun.
Gotta maximize the experience.
Maximize the experience. Yeah. So the thing that I saw though that I liked was it was basically sitting down at, the start of the year now, whenever, you're up for it, and kind of like writing, your resolve-y bits, your intentions for the year, putting them on like a piece of paper, and then basically sealing that piece of paper and just putting it away. And then like at the end of the year, you open it back up. And when you do so, it's just more like this sort of like, what can I mark off?
Yeah.
I want to be more active. And then, you get to the end of the year. It's like, was I more active this year? It's like, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But the idea is sort of that same thing. It's sort of like if you take the time to write the words on the piece of paper and like really think through the things that you, or the areas you'd like to, make improvements on or whatever, make progress on a hobby or
right.
take more time for yourself or whatever. Like the hope would be that by having written it down, by having that piece of paper exist somewhere, it's this like very back of your mind, subconscious, like nudge.
Yeah.
To do it.
That it's like, yeah, you've been intentional about it. And it's like, I feel like it's like with, what were we doing? Maybe even with like your tattoo or something, where like you were like trying to come up with like a jokey reason to do it, and then it's like, oh look, and now it's sticking, kind of thing.
Yes,
it's like you're giving yourself an excuse to have a reason to like make a change that like for some reason like, you could just do it anytime.
You could, yeah.
It's like no one's stopping you from just like being more organized,
right?
Yeah, but it's like, but if I just suddenly start being all organized, like it might intrude on the way people expect me to act. But now I have an excuse to make a big change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think like or even like growing like my beard and stuff. I've always said like that was sort of like, oh, no shave November / I just want to see what I look like with a beard.
I think that's the example I was reaching for.
Yes. Yeah. And then it just stayed forever.
Right.
Kind of like you with your mustache.
With the mustache.
It's like, haha, it's going to be so funny. It's like, now it's a part of my face.
Now it's just part of my face.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, all that being said, do you have anything that you are attempting to focus on? Are there any goals for 2025? Do you have just plans for 2025? Anything that you think might happen
might fall under this purveyance?
Yes. Yeah. Good use of purveyance.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I think in general, when I get to the start of the year, I like to try and be a lot more intentional about just like being healthy.
Okay.
Like as I said, normally December, November, I start getting a little lackadaisical in that department.
Yeah, I understand completely.
Yeah,
it's
so,
easy to do
like,
so.
Yeah, so I mean, yesterday, I tried to start off on the right foot. I got back on the Peloton. I did a little ride there, just to be like, boom, we're being intentional about it. We did a thing.
Yes.
You know, I proved it to myself. And then like today, I'm trying to like eat significantly healthier. We're doing like dry January, or at least dry until Disney, I suppose.
Right, I know. Yes, Alice and I had a very similar conversation. Where we're like, should we do dry January? And then we're like, we're going to Disney, and it was like, ooh, it's gonna be hard not to like, you know, go in and have something fun while we're there.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like because then you're there.
Yeah, you're there. Well, yeah, you got to maximize that experience, but
exactly.
Right, yeah,
yeah.
Not that, yeah. So yeah, we're doing that. We're just not gonna. We'll do dry until Disney.
We're dry until Disney.
Dry until Disney. That's that plan. Probably the thing that's been on my mind for a while that I think is like what I want to do in 2025 is run a triathlon.
Ooh.
I know, yeah.
Run, bike, swim, a triathlon.
Yes, do the whole thing. Yeah, not like a relay, not just be a part of it. Do the whole thing.
Do the whole thing. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Do you have a try, as it were, picked out?
I think it's probably going to be the Smith Mountain Lake Triathlon.
Nice.
Yep, which I think you have competed in before as the running leg of a relay.
Yes,
Right?
The Cave Spring Triumvirate.
Yeah, triumvirate. Yeah,
I think was the name of our team. And
Yes.
I want to say we came in second.
I think you guys did because it was you and our good buddy John of the GMA, and then a guy from high school named Max.
Maximilian.
Yes, Max. Man, sometimes I wonder what Max is doing now.
I know.
What's that guy up to?
I bet he's great.
I bet he's doing great.
Always a delight. Yeah.
Always so fun to hang out with. But he was on the cross country team as well, but also was like a year round swimmer.
Yes.
So whilst we mostly knew him as a runner, he had been a longtime swimmer. So like you guys recruited him to do the swim, and sure enough, he just came out of the water like first in all the team competitions.
It was unbelievable because like we got down there and I think he was borrowing like our dad's wetsuit or something, you know, and it was like he swam a lot, but he never swam in a wetsuit. So he like put it on for the first time. And then it's May, which like
is cold.
It's cold. Yeah. Like, you know, like it's part of the reason why you're wearing a wetsuit is because like you're jumping into water that's like hopefully 65 degrees.
I think
like,
I know. I'm concerned about the temperature of the water.
Yes, yeah. So that was a big one, and so like I mean he was really nervous, and I want to say like before we even started he like almost like, you know, backed out. He was like I can't do this, and then the next thing we know he's the first one out of the water, and we're like, Max!
Yeah, like, what happened?
Whoa!
Yeah, so then, John got on the bike, and I think he came, Max gave him such a head start that he came across first on the bike.
Yes.
And then I think you must have gotten passed on the run, but the people who passed you were like the Virginia Tech like triathlon team.
Yes, yeah. So it was like, if anything, our team was doing phenomenally up until the run. And I actually ran,
You ran a PR.
I ran a PR, like an all-time best, and by like, a lot.
Right. So it's not like you dropped the ball or something either.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
you did as good as you could have.
Right.
Yeah. So that was, I do remember that being a very fun day. But it's like one of those things where I'm like, for the longest time, I've always just sort of been like, oh yeah, I'll do a triathlon. And it's like, well, at some point you're gonna have to go do it. Then it's like, yeah, I am gonna have to go do it. Okay, now, maybe if I'm gonna do it, this is like one of those things I've always wanted to do, and I just, I'm like, well, no one's stopping you.
Right.
You may as well. So I got to do that. I will have to get a bike.
Yeah.
I have a mountain bike, but it will be a road bike for the race, and then I will also have to probably join a gym that has a pool.
Yes. Yeah.
Haven't been swimming in a while, at least like in a training sort of way.
I just like to imagine you like in your bathtub at home with like goggles on and just like kind of doing like a splish splash.
Such a big tub I would need.
You would need a big tub
to manage such a thing.
I'm always curious about those. I feel like they fall into like the spa and like hot tub world, but they're like those like swimming pools that are just like really aggressive jets, and you just like swim against the current.
They're like treadmills, but for pools.
Yes, it's like wow, what a creation.
Yeah. That's a wild one. I don't want to get one of those.
No, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That would take up a lot of space.
That would take up a lot of space. Yeah,
quite the endeavor. I bet you get really good at swimming though.
I mean, probably, but yeah.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
So you've got a goal, a plan. It's in May.
Yeah, it's in May.
Okay, so you got some time.
Yep, got to start getting in the water. That's
Yeah.
like kind of my main concern. I'm like, I really got to get some pool reps in here, and I got to get a bike, and I got to get some time on the road. Like, I've got the Peloton, so I can still do like biking workouts.
Yes,
And
definitely.
get that kind of like cardio build up. But like, I gotta actually get out there on the road some here and do some rides.
Right. You can't
Yeah.
simulate all of it.
Yeah, and it's not all. It's not. What was I gonna say? Then I gotta feel like I'm ready to do all of them back to back to back. But none of the distances are like that far,
Right,
per
like
se.
it's like a sprint. So
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember the swim distance, but I want to say the bike is like 20K, which translates to what?
like 12 miles.
12 miles.
Yeah, it's like 12 miles and like a 3-mile run.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then a distance.
And then a
swim.
distance of swim. Yes.
I'm gonna throw out 250 meters.
Oh, well, that seems quite doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's more than that.
It's certainly not like a mile.
It's certainly not a mile. That would be a huge endeavor. I'm going to look it up right now. Hold, please.
Hold, please.
Do. Okay, it's a 500-meter swim.
Oh, a 500-meter swim.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean that's twice as far as I thought.
Yes, and then it says, 12.4-mile bike and 3.1-mile run.
Amazing.
Yeah, so the swim I think is going to be the hard one for sure.
Yes, definitely. That would be the area I would be the least comfortable with. The other two, I feel like I could like almost off the couch, like manage it.
I think I think off the couch right now I could probably get on the bike and bike for 12 miles and get off the bike and run for 3 miles, and I would be really tired.
Oh,
to
absolutely.
be clear.
Yes.
I'd be very tired at the end of it. But like also like when you're out mountain biking, I feel like the distance goes significantly slower than when you're on like a road bike.
Totally agree.
You know, like if we go out and do like 12 miles on a mountain bike, like that's a full day.
Yes.
You know, and we did that a few times. you
Oh,
know?
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not like don't have the distance in me or anything, but like I feel like 12 miles on a road bike when you're maybe, unless you're heading up like a very big mountain, which I would not be doing.
Right.
Is going to go a lot faster than 12 miles on the mountain bike.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're going to be great. Okay.
Yeah.
I like this plan.
That's the
And
plan.
then I do see another detail that you have written down here, and I don't know if this counts in our 2025 goals, but I'm gonna count it. is
Okay.
that You have once again applied for Survivor.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like I have very little control over it, but certainly beyond Survivor, that would be a just an ongoing goal.
I mean,
think.
that would be like a monumental occasion.
It would be so exciting. But I have submitted an application again for Survivor. So, and it's one of those things that like, I feel like it's been in the back of my mind for a very long time. Like, I remember when I made the first submission video, I felt like really good about it. And then when I did it a second time and I was just basically recreating the first one again, but with like kind of like updated information.
Okay.
It kind of felt phoned in, honestly. But like every time we watch it, there's like a point in the episode where Jeff will be like, apply, get online, go do it. You want to be out here, go do it. And Beth will always be like, you have to do it. You should do it. And I'm like, I know. I'm thinking about like, what would I say? I never know what I would say. And like, it hit me over like this past month. And I was like, I've got an idea. And so that like once I had it, I was like, okay, now's the time. It felt very right. It felt like it came to me, and it felt very good.
So explain it to me.
So my plan, well, and it's actually like the podcast was a little bit of a part of it, but so and the GMA as it were. So
Nice.
I was basically saying that I'm like a YouTuber from Roanoke, Virginia. I feel like being an influencer is like a thing they're sort of looking for at the moment. Like the people on the last season, there was like a bunch of like podcast hosts or anchors or like a lot of that kind of professions.
Okay, that's
flying
interesting.
around.
Yeah.
It felt like more than usual. Some of the people were like Survivor podcast hosts,
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Like super fans.
like super fans. Yeah. So I wanted to be, I said I was like long been fan since I was a kid, always wanted to be on or whatever. And then I said like my secret weapon is the GMA sticker. This is how I'm going to win the game.
Oh,
basically. Yeah.
Okay, so the GMA sticker competition is, of course, our fun ongoing gag where people can go and place GMA stickers the world over.
Exactly. So then I explained like I that was my tease. I was like, this is how I'm going to win right here. Boom. But then I come back to it later after I explain everything else.
Okay.
It's my hook,
I love it.
Get them in. Yeah. So then I was talking about some like my favorite moves in Survivor history. I was talking about which are a lot. I mean, there's many, but in particular for the video, I was talking about season 19 with Russell Hantz.
Okay.
Who is an infamous Survivor player, one of the biggest villains of all time.
I was going to say he's a bit of a villain character, right?
Bit of a villain character for sure, but in back-to-back seasons made it to the final like final 3. Didn't win either of them. But spoilers, I guess. 30 seasons back, whatever.
Right, yeah.
Whatever. But one of the moves he did in one of the seasons was hiding. He just like took the machete from camp and just like buried it. Just like unbeknownst to anyone, and then just like walked away. And the rest of the season, they're just like, where is the machete? And it's like this huge thorn in everyone's side, including his, because, it's a useful item.
Oh, yeah.
To have at camp, but it's just gone. Like, they never find it. And it's just like annoying to the rest of the tribe the entire time. No one considers that
somebody would
that
sabotage.
someone sabotaged it. They just all think they've misplaced it. They're all constantly thinking like we lost it,
Right.
And so they have no real way to deal with it. But like it affected all of them in this very negative way. And while he has to deal with the consequences, he knows the reason.
Right.
Which is like everyone else is suffering like twice because they don't have the machete and they don't know what happened to it. But he does know what happened to it.
Right. Because there's that like irritation, like that's going to be like itching in the back of your mind where it's like, did I lean against the tree? Did I take it to the water tank? Like,
was it me? Did I lose it? What was the last someone, or you like start pointing the finger like, what did you do with it? Like, where did it go?
Right. Because then all of a sudden, that's the other thing too. It's like, how could you be so irresponsible with our most important object?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So it's just like this tiny little chaos, little undercurrent he created. So I talk about that, and I talk about like there's another scene where he's like out standing in the rain while everyone else is like huddled at camp, like feeling sorry for themselves because the weather's bad, and he's like, "This gives me strength." And I was like, I kind of got that. Like he's like really embracing the experience while everyone else is just sort of like huddled at camp. So I brought that up. But then I was like, but that said, I'm not Russell. I'm not a villain in any capacity. I might have the most wholesome channel on the internet.
Yeah, right.
So then we cut to like the Super Carlin Brothers set, and I kind of explain what we do there. And then I come back to the sticker, and I'm like, so I had my alliance in high school. Every alliance needs a good name. That's like a thing on Survivor now. We have the Green Mallard Association. Boom.
Yeah, I love it.
So, tie that in there.
Do you think that if you were on there, you would like try to like fold new people into the GMA?
Not to the GMA, but I'd probably come up with something.
Oh, okay.
I'd have like a name for us. Yeah.
Right.
You gotta have like a unifying, you gotta have a flag to fly.
Oh, well said.
Exactly.
Well said. We unite under this banner.
That's right. Exactly. You can't fight for a country that doesn't exist, Ben.
Right. Well, that's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah.
So that might be part of the strategy there for sure. And then I was talking about how like one of the things we did was obviously we came up with a name for ourselves. So then we had to come up with a logo, as any good friend group needs to do.
Right. Yeah.
Right. First thing most friend groups do, find a logo for themselves.
Right. It's like. Hey, we all agree we're best friends, right?
We all agree, right? Yeah, cool.
All right. What animals do we all like?
Exactly. So, and then I talk about how we came up with a logo, and then step 2, put the logo everywhere. Step 3, tell nobody what it means or that we're the ones doing it.
Yes.
Yes. And then I was kind of comparing that to like the machete situation where it's just like, we knew where the ducks were coming from.
Right.
No one else knew where the ducks were coming from. And it was like this, like, but people were talking about them.
Oh yes, yeah. They were everywhere.
They were everywhere.
Randomly,
like, what is the point of them? And it was just like, I know. And that was very fun. And I was saying, and here's the thing, we never stopped playing. Instead, we grew a giant audience and told them about the GMA stickers. And now if you keep a weather eye out, you might find a GMA sticker anywhere in the world. But,
I love it.
Yeah, we have just a secret army of people putting stickers, playing a game together that no one else understands, but that draws them together.
I love it.
Yeah, so see you in Fiji.
See you in Fiji.
Yeah.
That's the pitch.
That's the pitch. That's why you should put me on Survivor.
Do you still get to bring a personal item?
I don't know. I don't think so anymore.
I feel like that was the thing early on, but it would be very interesting if you could and you brought your stickers.
I brought a sticker.
Yeah,
I just put the stickers everywhere.
Yeah.
I know. That'd be very fun.
Maybe you can like sew one into like the heel of your foot.
Yeah.
And worth it.
Yeah.
And then like when you're at like one of the challenges, like go over to like one of the flags or like the post and just like
put that sticker on there.
That'd
be great. Yeah, you should try and bring a GMA sticker.
Yes.
To Fiji.
Yes.
Try and sneak it on.
I know. Yeah. Then like when you're in like the final 3 and they're like showing your submission, like your audition tape or whatever, it's like so Jay, we gotta ask, are there any GMA stickers somewhere in Fiji? I'm like, oh, there are.
Oh, they're there. They're there. The camera people didn't even see them. They're there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like the container that they like put all the votes in. It's like, Jeff, pick up that container.
Yeah. What? The whole time?
The whole time.
No way. Or just put it on all of my voting parchment.
Oh my
you
gosh.
know who it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man, what a play.
What a play. Yeah. I wrote your name down.
Yes, signed every vote.
I know. Here's the other thing I've thought about this so many times is what would I go by on the show? Would I tell people Jonathan? Would I go by Jay? Would I be like, Jeff, just call me Carlin? You know.
Call me Carlin.
Call me Carlin. It came out a little more country than I was anticipating.
That's a good question. I mean, oh man. I can see it both ways.
Right? I know.
I could see it because I could just see them just like literally putting like the letter J.
Oh, I know. I'd have to be like, is it J not spelled like it sounds at all? You know?
Just a letter.
But like you don't want them to know how to spell it. Right?
Why do you not? Oh.
So they can't write it down.
So they can't write it down.
Yeah, that'd be the joke.
So
J, but not spelled like it sounds.
It's like you spell it like JEIGH.
Right? Yeah.
J.
Yeah, like J spelled like a horse neigh.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know how horses neigh.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's if you could pronounce it like that, I'm J. That'd be fantastic. Oh man. No, yeah. That'd be so I don't know. What yeah, go by Jonathan, go by Jay. What do you think?
Good question. I mean, I call you Jay.
I know.
So that I mean that's like where like my mind goes, but I could see Jonathan making sense.
Yeah.
You know.
Much bigger.
And then people would definitely spell it wrong.
They would spell it wrong for sure.
Yeah.
That'd be not that it would ever happen, but if it came up when Jeff was like, you know, the tribe has spoken or whatever, I would have to turn around and be like, not one of you spelled my name right, for the record. Not one of you.
Jonathan.
I don't think anyone truly voted for me, Jeff. Does that count?
Does that count?
That count?
Can I make the argument
Can I
right
make
now?
the argument
that they were talking about their imaginary friend
no
Jonathan.
one wrote my name down, so I don't think I've actually been voted out. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving.
Squatter
You don't have a
strikes.
single person voting for me, Jeff. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. And
Yeah.
then Jeff would be like, all right, get out of here.
Like, I'm just kidding. Can I have a hug? You smell amazing.
You smell amazing. What is that? Fijian forest.
That'd be great. Yeah. So here's hoping we hear back from Survivor. That's what I had to come in. I had come in on 3 occasions to edit the video over break.
Oh my gosh.
I know, because I kept running into like, it was just the most classic editing problems like that I remembered from the day. And it's like, yep, all these things happen all the time. And it was like, I want you to just open Final Cut. And it's like, well, you need to update the version. And I was like, that's not a problem. Update version, no problem. It's like, no, you need to update your operating software first. And it was like, great, that's more of a problem. That's going to take 90 minutes. Cool. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
I allotted 120 minutes for this, so probably not going to make it.
Probably not going to make it.
Not going to make it. Come back the next day. All right, we're updated. We're good. Open Final Cut. Now I have to do that update. That's going to take 45 minutes. Cool. Allotted 90 minutes for this. So yeah, not looking great here. And I had to get it by like the end of the year. And then I finally got all the stuff in there, and like the camera recorded onto the backup card, and you know, the updates had changed some of the hotkeys and how to navigate Final Cut, and you know, just all the things.
The things.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, fun times.
Dastardly.
But I got it done. I got it submitted. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Fingers
Wish me luck.
crossed. I know. No, I'm so hopeful for it. I mean, like, it always occurs to me, like, whenever this conversation resurfaces, that it's like, if you theoretically got on and then left, it would be so nightmarish for me on the home front to try to like complete all of the work in your absence.
Oh, I know, right?
It's like, oh no, it's gonna be like 5 weeks.
I know. It would be a lot. It would be like, we're just going to have to record just like a bunch of as many things as we can, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know exactly how we do it, but we don't have to cross that bridge yet. So.
I know. We'll worry about that when we get there. We'll worry about It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
And
you know what? It would be worth it.
It'll be worth it.
Oh,
Adventure
man.
of a lifetime.
It would be so difficult though in the interim, like where you came home and couldn't tell me anything about it.
Oh my gosh.
I'd be like, my mind is going to explode. Like, we must go into like a silent room somewhere, and you need to like tell me.
Yeah.
Because I can't stand not knowing.
Oh, it would be. I don't know what the rules are on all that.
It feels like there's no way that everybody who's ever done it has like kept their lips sealed.
I know, right?
Because that would seem like madness.
I know. I mean, I know you have to sign a bunch of like NDAs and stuff. which
guess
I'm
that's
sure there's like high fines for violating and things.
Because you're undermining their whole show.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
it could be
that's a
something
good
to
point.
that effect.
Right, yeah. It's like final 3 of these people.
Like, oh, great. Can't wait to watch.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're up for a big 2025.
I hope so. I mean, triathlon and Survivor, hopefully. Plus, we're going on tour twice. That's going to be exciting.
I know going to be 2 tours this year.
We're going to Disney World. That's going to be exciting.
Yes.
As well. And what else? Oh, we're going to, for one of the Christmas things we did was we got tickets to go see Wicked on Broadway.
I know, which
Yeah.
I think you and I, we got them as, me and you and Dad got them as gifts for our mom and Alice and Beth. And it was I don't know that Dad was maybe in the same column, maybe though. But I think me and you were kind of like, this is gonna be so much fun.
It is gonna be so much fun.
It's just as much a gift for us as it is for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, because the big issue has been that we saw part 1 up to the intermission of Wicked, and we were like, now we have to wait a whole year
You're wait a whole year.
to find out what happens next.
what happens.
And it's like it's killing us.
It's killing us.
And
I
like
know.
the rule was we can find out what happens next if we see it in its most authentic way,
Right.
which is on Broadway.
Which we are going to do.
Yes.
Yes. We'll see it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
going to be great. It's going to be great. Yep. So we got that on the docket. This year there is a big piece of me. I got really into Formula One racing over the past year or so.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. I so enjoyed it. And so Alice and I have been poking around, looking at going to Silverstone, which is in England.
Ooh.
Yes, I know.
That's fun.
And potentially going and catching a race.
Yeah.
But every single thing about going to one of these races is absurdly expensive.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
It's like when Rolex is one of their marquee sponsors, it's just that's a problem for me.
Right.
That's very, very expensive. The clientele who are going to these things, if that's what they're advertising, it's like, oh gosh,
Right.
I'm not in that column.
Not in that column. Yeah, right. That being said, though, Ben, Martinsville Speedway, an hour away.
You know what?
You know?
I bet I could get there.
I bet you could get there.
Yeah.
I don't think tickets are that even that expensive.
Go catch some NASCAR.
Go catch some NASCAR.
NASCAR. Okay.
Yeah.
It seems like fun.
It
Yeah.
honestly does seem like a fun day.
Yeah,
Just went
yeah.
out to the track and watched cars go.
Right. Yeah. I actually
good.
I think I would enjoy
I know.
that.
I would
Yeah.
enjoy it a lot. Yeah. I don't know if my kids would. I think it's very loud.
Extremely loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a viral video that more than anything I just think is hilarious, but it's somebody being interviewed before a NASCAR race, and he's like, I've been up since 4 a.m. I'm ready to drink beer and turn left. And I was like, it never occurred to me to think about NASCAR as just turning left.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a few tracks where there's some right turns in there as well.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of just big circle.
Oh, the big circle.
Big circle.
Yeah. It makes me kind of dizzy just thinking about it.
Yep. Martinsville too, shortest track on the circuit. So they often start lapping themselves, which can make it very difficult to keep track of who's where.
Who's where. And,
Yeah.
and I think it's accident prone because
Yeah.
it's so tight.
Yeah.
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 So, anyway, so maybe we'll hit up some NASCAR.
Maybe we'll hit up some NASCAR.
People listening to this are like, what has happened to this show?
This is what's going on, guys?
Yeah. We're just all over the place. Okay, so then the other big one for me this year, yeah, so obviously we got Disney, we got tours going on and everything. I also am hoping that camping can become
I do want to go camping.
kind of a big one this year.
Yeah, over the break we went up to the Smoky Mountains.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, over to Gatlinburg with Beth's family, and part of that was on 2 days we went on these just some hikes in the woods, very 2 mile loops or whatever.
Right.
And I was very curious how the kids were going to do. I was concerned that I was going to be carrying people for 2 miles.
Miles, yeah.
Yeah, for miles at a time. Just I don't want to do it, but I needn't have worried at all.
The boys loved it.
Oh my gosh. It was once they were in the woods, it was they heard their calling.
No
you
kidding.
know, I mean, the first day especially, Nate on the first day, he was just sprinting out in front of everyone, just getting as far as ahead of us as he could without losing sight. And then he'd turn around and wait. And the first day we were next to this river the whole time, and at any opportunity opportunity to go jump on rocks in the middle, they would just go out and do it.
Wow.
And it was definitely one of those parenting moments where it's like, I'm watching the kids do this, and like all I'm seeing is like me and you and John and Mike just like, jump around the rocks, and I'm like, oh man,
they're me.
They're making it. They're doing it. And I could just, and like Beth's over there, like, don't let them jump over there. And I'm like, but he made it. I don't know.
This is great.
I know. I mean, we got to encourage him a little. I don't know what's up. And he's like, well, what if he falls in the water? It's like, well, then he's going to be wet.
Yes.
Natural consequences and such.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No one really fell in the water though. I think like Nick had like one little slip where he got like the front of his pants wet, but otherwise everyone was totally fine. They had a great time, and we were going to a waterfall at the end, which I thought was cool. And then the next day when we went back, it was less on the river. It was just a loop through the woods. There was like a cabin like at the sort of like midway point that you go check out. There's just like a random structure in the woods.
Okay.
Yep. But all three of them on that day were just all sprinting as fast as they could, way ahead and up the trail, and that was so fun to watch.
So maybe they're like woodland creatures.
Oh, I know. I was like, we got to get you guys in the woods way more often.
Yes.
Like, let's go. We're hiking more. Like, I was concerned they were not going to like it, but boy, they did.
That is so cool. I mean, that's like a very exciting development, and I feel like there is like a page that feels like it's like it hasn't quite been able to be like fully turned yet, but like because the kids are getting older, they're becoming like more independent with things. We're able to like start like introducing them into like the activities that like we have like loved in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it does feel like it's right there on the cusp, and it's like, okay, we're about to really start like seeing who these humans are,
who these kids are.
Yeah. Which I think is going to be like,
I can tell you who they are right now. Ben is Bey Bladers.
Bey Blade enthusiasts.
Bey Blade enthusiasts. Yeah, you got that set for Luke for his birthday.
Yes,
and they have hardly put it down. Like, I mean, dusk till dawn,
What?
They are blading like crazy.
That makes, oh my gosh. It's like, that feels like, from like, that's like the gift giver's like best case scenario.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, you gave them something and like they loved it.
Yes. I mean, they do. Like, they wake up, they're just down there. And then, of course, for Christmas, they just got a huge influx of new blades and stuff.
Yeah. It's a highly giftable object.
Highly like customizable. Like they've all gotten like full launchers. Like the stuff you buy, like it comes with these like teeny weeny like piddly launcher things.
Ugh, can't have that.
No good. I mean, that's what not that it was a problem for them. They used it just fine for the first month of play.
Right.
But as of New Year's, man, they've got a handle. They've got like a string launcher. They can like let it rip.
They're getting ready for comp.
I mean, I guess so. And it was like, I've been loving watching them play. It is so cool that they're like so united on it. I was like, what? Like, I mean, it's fun. Obviously, it's fun. And it's like customizable, and you can like switch all the parts around, and everything fits together with everything else. So that's all very cool. But I was like, I think at its core, what is so captivating about it is that it's a game all of them can play. It is like it is action packed, dare I say.
Yeah.
In terms of like stuff is fighting, they're like slamming into each other. Stuff is going, things are bursting, and it requires no reading at all. Like so many games are held up at reading.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
yeah.
That is like a huge barrier to like Luke will see me and Beth playing games, or he'll be like, can I just play this? Or can we like play Pokemon? And it's like, we can. The problem is like you have to be able to read the cards,
Right. It's very true. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I can see where it's just like they can go as hard as they want,
right?
And they can fully comprehend every aspect of.
And there's like even the rules. It's like the like even other games is like they not that they can't learn rules or anything, but the only rule is whoever is left spinning wins.
Right.
That's basically it. I mean, you can there's ways to like keep track of the points and stuff, but like all you got to know is rip it. Whoever's left spinning wins.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, they are slamming into each other.
Right.
And like it seems like it must be the same over and over, and it's like it's not. It's over. And then beneath it all, there is like an undercurrent of strategy. Like you'd think like, oh, they're just tops running into each other. It's always just going to be whoever spins it harder. But like it's also not.
That is like the number one thing I would have thought.
Yeah.
Is that like when it comes to like just a bunch of spinning pieces of metal, like that there would just emerge the clear winner. Like this one is just going to be the best.
Right.
So it's like, if anybody's going against that one, then it's not really a competition because it's just always going to win.
Right.
But I guess that's not the case.
It's not the case. No.
Okay.
I mean, it's very much like the Pokemon starters where it's like, fire beats grass beats water beats fire.
Okay.
So
And everything's kind of got like its own like little.
Everything's got like its advantage type, but it's not that you can't win with a disadvantage. That happens too.
Right.
Flukes happen. It happens, but it's very fun. And then just customizing them, seeing what's going to happen or whatever. And like the one we got Neigh for Christmas, it's like a stamina build. That's its gimmick. Which means it's very good at spinning for a long time.
Okay, so stamina, offense, defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the three. So the one we got for Luke, high offense. Luke's all about the attack.
Okay.
As you might imagine.
I can see it.
all about that. So his is very cool. It's like a bright red blade. It's very fun. But they all play together. They all spin them at the same time, and Nate's kept winning, and it did not make any sense to him. It was like, I don't understand why I'm losing, and he would just could not handle it. And it was like, well, and it's like I was thinking about it, and it's like it's because when you play with that many things, all that thing's supposed to do is just take hits, and yours is supposed to hit one thing very hard once. And if you're in there with 3 blades, they're all banging into each other a ton. So yours is losing power fast, and his is just surviving. And it's like the more people you play with, the more you're going to lose the Nate. And he was just like, right, okay. And then he was like, one-on-one battles from now on,
Well, let me change the rules.
Yes, yeah. So it's been fun watching him actually try and strategize. Like yesterday we were playing and I pulled up one. He was like, I'm going to use this one. And then he won. And I was like, that was smart, Luke. That was strategy at play.
Yeah, that's cool.
So good for him. But
so I was going to ask, is there any of the 3 who is consistently winning these matches?
Well, Luke almost always uses his bright red Soar Phoenix blade, almost exclusively, and it is if you look at actual competitive, it's if you start with that one, you give yourself a handicap. Is the rules of the game.
Okay,
obviously they're not playing like that.
Right.
Nick and Nate are much happier to constantly switch things around.
Okay.
So they'll just play with whatever they feel like in the moment, and then as a result, they don't win as much.
Sure.
Yeah. But if they do win, there's a certain Eldershot who's not happy about it.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah.
Younger siblings are not supposed to beat older siblings.
No, apparently not.
Yeah. If our childhoods were indicative in any way.
Yeah. Well, that's okay because I can beat Luke, most of the time, but not always. I mean, there's string launchers. They even the playing field for
How
sure.
about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, I think so. My big camping thing, I guess, was that. Well, I mean, in part, last year, I did the boat.
You did the boat,
and I think this has been my ongoing strategy for so long, and I sort of had a conversation with Alice about it because I sort of always describe myself in, it's gonna seem like such a weird tangent, in my early 20s as an obvious distinct Slytherin. I felt like ambition was at the core of all of my objectives. I wanted to start every and any new business I could possibly think of. The whole idea was just go, keep throwing things at the wall, find what works, figure out how to get your own multiple sources of revenue and side hustles and all of these types of things going. And I think that basically what I really wanted to do, or what I really value the most, and I was explaining this to Alice over break, is safety. It's oddly what I really, really, really want is safety and consistency and knowledge of where my next fun is going to be coming from.
Okay.
So it's odd because I think what I was really trying to do in the early days was just fast track to the point where I would have all of the necessary bits and bobs and equipment and all those types of things so that I could always have fun laid out before me.
Right.
And so, historically, I think what I've always kind of hoped for is in the spring and fall, you would be doing, sort of outdoor camping, mountain biking, type of activities through the course of the summer, be able to go and spend time like on the water at the lake, like, swimming, boating, fishing, tubing, water skiing, wakeboarding, all that type of stuff. And then get into winter and like maybe skiing, snowboarding, like winter
sport stuff,
type So then it's sort of like, then as each season shifts from one to the next, it's sort of like you always know what your next bit will be. So yeah, last summer I felt like I finally got it dialed in because I finally had like a reliable boat based situation. And then I've really wanted to, like, going into fall, I was like, I know at some point it's going to get too cold to keep doing boat stuff. And at that point in time, I want to be able to go do fall stuff.
Yeah.
And realistically, our fall just ended up being so ridiculously busy. But we did buy like a new tent, like an air pad that we can like sleep on and stuff like that. And like, I've been like assembling some gear so that like when the weather does turn again, I will be like ready for it.
Yeah.
But then in the meantime, over the break, Alice and I found a YouTube channel that we were just absolutely obsessed with.
You guys found a YouTube channel?
We found a YouTube channel.
Wow.
And
well, it's about time.
I know. And I mean, I don't think I've watched more of any YouTube channel ever.
Yeah. This is it?
Like,
awesome.
This would absolutely, which is, probably speaks more to like how little specific YouTube I've ever consumed before.
Right.
But it's called The Outdoor Boys.
The Outdoor Boys.
The Outdoor Boys. And it is really kind of an interesting premise for a channel. Not like a premise. The guy basically like goes camping and does outdoor stuff and sometimes has like his two young boys along with him for the ride and the adventure and stuff. But this guy's got like 12 million subscribers.
Wow.
I know. So I'm like, whoa, this is like a big channel.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes out and like, he's doing like all this like bushcraft and, survival type stuff, but he's in Alaska. So he's like very frequently dealing with like sub-zero temperatures.
Oh man.
And like figuring out how to like, build. There's like one where he's like in like 20 feet of snow and he like builds this like giant underground snow bunker.
Oh wow.
And it's all just so interesting. But one of the big things about the show is that like food is paramount. Like, so he is always making like this amazing looking food. So like, half the time, like he'll pull out like a giant, like, T-bone steak or something like in a vacuum sealed container, but because he's in like sub-zero temperatures, like, he'll always like knock on it. It's like hard as a rock because it's like frozen. So, you don't need like a cooler or anything, throw it in your backpack and it stays frozen the whole time because it's that cold.
Wow.
Then he's just making all this like absolutely incredible food, like over a stove on like he's got like a wood stove in his tent, or make these like campfires and stuff. And I love all of it, but there's this one thing that he does that like I have spent like just days thinking about, and last night I finally tried it and I was like, oh my gosh, if we ever go backpacking again, like I am 100% doing this.
Okay.
Because what he'll do is he'll bring a 1 gallon Ziploc bag full of flour.
Okay.
Like a 1 cup of flour or something. A pinch of like dry active yeast.
Okay.
Like a pinch of salt and a pinch of sugar. And so like he'll pull out of his backpack just this like, thing of flour.
Right.
Effectively. He'll pour like water into it.
Yeah.
Mash it up inside of the bag and then set it overnight.
And it rises.
Yeah. Inside of the bag. And then the next morning he'll like, spread butter across like his skillet or whatever and just pull these like globs out and make like pan bread.
Nice.
And so it's like, like every single like episode he will inevitably do this and it looks so good every single time.
And it's like you can just do that in your kitchen,
which I did.
You did.
I did. Yeah. So last night I literally I went through and I got like all my ingredients together and I was so excited about it. So like I left it on the countertop and it it looked like a vacuum sealed bag because the dough, of course, was like kind of like squishing it. To where it was like all just sort of like stuck together. And then I came downstairs this morning. I mean, it looked like a balloon fit to burst.
That's hilarious.
Like, so much expansion.
So much expansion.
And so then, like this morning, like Addie wasn't feeling well and Allie was like tending to her, like her and all this stuff. And I'm over at the stove making,
look at this.
I was like, I made bread.
Yeah, good job, man. You put flour and yeast and salt in a bag.
Dude, hold on.
I'm so excited.
I know. I have to show you the pictures because it was so much fun. Okay, so here you go. Give me your live reactions or for the sake of the audience because they can't see it. Okay, so this is the bag last night.
Right. Okay. It looks very regular bag of dough.
It looks like a regular bag of dough.
Regular bag of dough. Yeah.
All right, and then here we go.
It's so much bigger.
It's so much bigger. It like totally inflated.
Bread is wild.
Science. And then here you go. There's my glob of pan bread.
You just like globbed it on. Like,
I just globbed it on.
No shape to it at all.
Oh,
just
none whatsoever.
Yeah.
As sloppy as it could possibly be.
Nice.
And then I smeared butter across it. And I mean, I kid you not, it tasted like an English muffin.
Well, there you go.
And I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah. I mean, you could do that every day.
You could do it every day.
Yeah. Yeah, just daily bread.
And 1 cup of flour equals 455 calories.
Okay.
So it's like you're getting like some good quality, macronutrients.
I guess so.
Packed in there.
Yeah, probably mostly carbs, I'm imagining.
Mostly carbs.
If not all carbs. I guess the butter would capture some fat in there.
Yep.
Very little protein, imagine.
No, there's protein in flour.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say it's like 13 grams.
Oh, okay.
In a cup of flour. So
what's the carb to protein ratio on that, you think?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not off the top of my noggin.
Yeah.
I'm just discovering all this stuff this morning. But so anyway, like as I'm getting so excited to like go camping, I'm learning so many things, all of which I can't wait to try.
Yeah.
Like there's this like one trick that he had where he's like almost all meat cooks at 375 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
And so he's like, if you want to know over your campfire where 375 degrees is, it's basically just like slowly lower your hand and then you should be able to hold your hand for 3 seconds before it gets too hot. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and you should like need to pull away on the second 3. That's 375 degrees.
Wow.
So
that's an interesting fact.
Yeah. So then if you want to like skewer your like, your meat or whatever, then you place it right over that and just slowly like rotate it. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's very good at all this type of stuff, but like, the fact that he's so good at bushcraft and then also will like slice into his steak or whatever. And it's like a perfect medium rare. And you're just like, oh my gosh.
Right. Like okay. All right. Yeah, sure.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I have been like, I mean, both me and Allie have been obsessed with it. Like we were not watching a TV show at night. We are literally like, and this is the first time in the history of our entire relationship where we get to the end of the night, and we open up the YouTube app on like our smart TV.
Man.
And we're watching, I mean, like 4 episodes a night that are like 35, 40 minutes a piece.
Wow.
We're just like, we're so sucked into it.
That's so fun.
And I've been enjoying the crap out of it. It has been, I'm like, I can't wait to go camping.
Yeah.
I'm
got so many things to try.
I feel like I'm going to blow everybody's mind with all my new skills. I'm like, guys, check this out. Check it.
Maybe if I get on Survivor, I should start watching this guy.
I know.
Because if you're wondering what I'm watching at night, it's Survivor.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, maybe that's coming.
Yeah,
that's actually me and Alex keep talking about it too. We're like, how come like nobody on Survivor ever seems to be like good at those kinds of things?
I like being outside.
Like I've seen people like weave like hats and stuff like that before. Like some people are really good like with the what are that, like palm tree fronds?
Yeah, the palm fronds.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of people like must watch some tutorials on how that works, or else just understand how weaving.
I know. I'm always like, that feels impossible. How'd you do that? What do you do? What wizardry are you accomplishing right now with those palm fronds?
I am afraid that if I ever win on Survivor, though, that my problem is that I would just sit there and like I don't even think of it as a problem. It's just what I would do. But I would just be like, I'm tinkering. I'm like,
I know exactly what you mean though.
Yeah, I'm just inventing.
I know. I'd just be like, I'm just gonna keep improving camp. You know?
Yes.
Right? Like, what else can we do? And be like, dude, the roof's fine. And be like, no, well, hold on. Is it fine? Is it fine?
I'm going to try to make a chair.
I'm going to try to make a chair.
I'm going to try to make a chair.
But there have been people like that. People have like made chairs and stuff.
Okay.
The trouble with these days is that the game is much more fast paced.
Okay.
Where it used to be like 39 days. Now it's like 26 or something.
Okay.
So it used to be like you vote every 3 days. And now it's like basically like, it's like sometimes it's just like every day. There's like one day in between votes or something.
Okay.
So it's significantly faster than it used to be.
That makes
which means
sense,
you have a lot less I say you have a lot less downtime. I don't know. Maybe you still have a ton of downtime. Obviously, they're only showing you the parts where they're, in the thick of conversation and gameplay.
That's true. And then I also always think about like all the like the confessionals that they have to go into, like where you'll have somebody like parked in front of like a waterfall or whatever, and it's like throughout the season they keep going back. What seems like the same setting for
it seems like they have like a spot for each person.
Yes. Yeah. So I always wonder what that's like, where it's like, you're sitting there around camp, everybody's kind of like trying to do their thing, and like the producer walks up like, in their sneakers, and like they're just like, Jay, we need you.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's like, all right, guys, I'll see you in a little bit.
Right.
It's like how often is it the case where like somebody has to like walk away from like a strategic moment?
Oh, I know. I wonder
like,
about that too. It's like so often to be like, okay, well, when I just have to wait until Mike is out of the picture here so I can go look for the idol or something, and just like, yeah, but it's so hard because he's just at camp all day. But it's like, can't be at camp all day. He's got to go shoot some confessionals. So it's like, when he's doing that, are people like taking advantage?
I know. Yes.
Like, oh, they're gone. Like now's
the moment. Yeah. Like, or I almost even like wonder if it's like done intentionally for that purpose, so that like it opens the door for like a little bit of like.
Yeah,
conversing to happen.
Or is it the case that they're like, it's like we're imagining they have like one crew who does the confessionals. Maybe it's just like, all right, it's confessional time. Everyone go to your spots, and everyone does it at the same time so that it can't be taken advantage of.
I guess that's the other option as well.
Yeah.
It could also go that way.
Could also be like that.
Maybe we need to watch some of the like behind the scenes Survivor podcasts.
I know. Well, part of me is like, I don't want to be. It's like almost don't want to be influenced by them. I want to play I want to get there and do it.
You want to play your game.
I want to play my game. Yeah, I don't want to be like, I need to think about these things. I want to be like, I got to figure it out in the moment.
Honestly, that's like one of those things too, where I've thought about that, where it's like, I'm like, if I were to go on, I think one of the struggles I would have would be like, what did so-and-so do? How did that work? What type of strategy should like I be implementing? It's like, you're not going to be able to go and like live in character the whole time.
Right.
Like it's the situation is too taxing. It's too difficult. Like you're going to be malnourished, poorly fed.
Yeah.
Like I just don't think your brain could just like keep the ball rolling for that long.
I know. Like, I think you can come in with a bunch of ideas, but it's going to beat you down to yourself pretty quickly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That seems to be like a very common theme on the show, is that like people really discover themselves a lot.
I can't remember what season it was, but I remember that there was one where like a woman named, I think it was Emily, came on, and she was like a little bit like abrasive.
Yes.
In the beginning.
That was like 2 seasons ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was kind of like one of these things where it was like, oh my gosh, like this, like she's like maybe like very like overbearing or something. It's kind of hard to describe, but like if you'd seen it, you would know. But like it was like within like 7 days, she just couldn't do it anymore, and she became like so lovable, and like sweet, and it was just like, what was happening?
Yeah.
It was almost like she got like thrown through like a crucible and like just came out the other side as like a different person. Like, that is unbelievable.
I know, it's crazy. So yeah, that'd be such a fun part of it too.
Yes.
You're like, who are you really?
Oh my gosh, I know. Yeah.
I know. It's like, what if I go out there and I am like a villainous player, Ben? It's like, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Whatever it takes to win, I guess.
It would be so interesting.
I know, it would be so interesting.
I mean, especially because I feel like, I don't know. Because like you'd be so in your element. Like it's gameplay, it's strategy.
I know, but it's like sometimes it's like, the people who are very good at that stuff are like seen as threats and stuff.
Right.
So it's like, how do you do it So it's like if you're really good at it, you can like succeed without appearing like a threat. Like, is that the real game?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Things to contemplate.
I know. And then there's like the trusting of it all, and like who can you trust, which is nobody.
Yeah,
but you have to.
Yeah,
you have to.
Yeah. I mean, maybe everybody would love you because you'd be making all this delicious trail bread.
Exactly. Because where would you get the flour though, Ben?
I don't know. You can ground up some of the rice or something.
Ground up some of the. They don't give you rice anymore.
Oh. Well, in that
But
case,
also, if we have rice, we just eat the rice, right?
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where you would get the yeast from either.
Yeah. How do I make yeast?
Maybe just throw some sand into a cup with some salt water and
Some
just
sand bread.
yeah, some sand bread. Just throw that on the skillet, see
Throw
what
that
happens.
there, right? And we have cooked sand. Cool.
Dry sand.
Dry sand.
There was as if there wasn't enough of it around.
I know, like we're not constantly walking around in this. Yeah. I was like, that always seems like sleeping would be so hard too. Like at some point, are you just so exhausted that it doesn't matter? You know, because I don't think you're gonna have anything comfy to lay on the entire time.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's even like when I've been watching the Outdoor Boys.
Yeah.
The frequency that like, he's going and cutting down like all these like dead trees and making a bed out of like logs. And I mean, to be fair, he almost always puts like a mattress, like an air pad on it or whatever. But even that, I'm like, God, it's gotta be so uncomfortable.
Right.
It's just gotta hurt.
And
In Survivor, it seems like they're always just like sleeping on bamboo. And like a lot of times they'll even just cut to be like, hey, where's so-and-so? It's like, oh, they're taking a nap. And it's like, they cut to him just like casually sleeping on the bamboo. And I'm like, how are you doing this?
I was like, I can't be comfortable.
Is it just like, I wonder if you have to, it's just like a lot more doable.
It's just like you don't have any other option, and this is still better than the ground, so deal with it.
Yeah. I feel like it would take me like 3 days.
To like, I bet that's the case too. Is that I bet the first 2 nights are very rough.
Yes.
And by the end, it's just like everything hurts. You're tired all the time. You're hungry. Whatever.
Right. Yes. Just keep going.
Just keep going.
I know. I'm always so impressed at how like exhausted they can look at camp, and then they'll show up for like one of the challenges, and they look all spry again, and I'm like, are we sure they're not being fed?
It's adrenaline, Ben.
Adrenaline.
All adrenaline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just body chemicals.
Exactly.
Well, so speaking of that, another big one that I feel like has kind of come about with Alice's like new like ideologies about health and everything.
Yeah.
Is she has adopted the ice bath.
Oh, the ice bath.
She has. So I don't know if you remember back like when I was doing like the vlog and like 75 hard and stuff. I was like, I'm working out so much right now. I feel like I'm so sore all the time. It's like I need to increase recovery. I was reading a book about the Wim Hof method.
Yeah.
Which is like this sort of like breathing technique by this guy whose name is Wim Hof. Where is he from? Netherlands maybe? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the book is called What Doesn't Kill Us. And it's basically just sort of like how he comes to like overcome the circumstances.
Yeah.
And like you can start to like deal with these really intense elements and stuff. So I was into that like several years ago, and then I feel like I really pulled back on it, and it was just sort of like, all right, whatever. Like I don't know if I really need to be doing this, but me and Alice have been doing it, and we've been having like a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
To the point where we were up at her mom's house over Christmas Eve, and she has like one of those like above ground backyard pools.
Yes, you sent us a video of this. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like we're all sitting there like at the table, and there's like a crackling fire in the fireplace, and we just ate like a nice meal, and there's cookies and all that type of stuff, and we're like, hey, should we go jump in the pool?
You guys want to jump in the pool right now?
And like at first it was kind of like one of those suggestions where it was like, no, it's a terrible idea. And her mom's like, there's like an inch of ice on the surface of the pool, and I was like, even better. We'll get a shovel.
Yeah.
And I'll go bust through it.
Yeah.
And
like, you know what? Weirdly, that made me want to do it more.
So we did.
So
we go outside, and we're just like in like bathing suits and such, and it's 30 degrees and so cold. And we climb up like the little ladder, and we plop in and just drop down, and I mean it's just immediately like you're on fire but really cold.
Yeah, at the same time.
Yes. Yeah. It was so much fun though. It was so much fun. And it's like wildly invigorating.
Yeah.
It's like you get out of it and you're just like, I could go punch the moon or something like that. You know?
Go punch the moon.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's been just a hooting and hollering good time. So now we've been like trying to like go through all of the like we've been spending the rest of the break cleaning out our basement. Because we were like, maybe we'll create like a wellness space down there.
Oh, like a spa,
like a spa. Except instead of anything comfortable, it's just a tub of ice.
It's just
water.
an ice bath. Yeah.
Good times.
Well, on the flip side, when we were in the Smoky Mountains, the place we were staying at, it did have a hot tub.
Oh, did it?
It did.
Did it reinvigorate your want for a hot tub?
I mean, of course. I don't know if it ever devigorated. You know,
you never devigorated.
I never devigorated. Yeah.
So I mean, okay. Here's a 2025 question.
Yeah.
By December 1, 2025, will you have a hot tub?
Ooh, good question. Hopefully.
What stands in your way? How can I help you in this quest?
Let's see. I would say at the moment, what stands in my way is probably just having more of like the concrete pad.
Okay.
Like out in the back somewhere to put it, and then like just picking it out and having it installed. Mostly. That's mostly it.
Those things.
Those are pretty doable things.
The installation doesn't sound easy, but we don't have to do it.
We don't have to do that.
So, you know, last time we bought a hot tub, I did have to do that.
Yeah.
And
my thinking is like, so I don't know if it like that would involve like getting an electrician involved first, but I feel like if you are the people selling hot tubs, you are accommodating this problem.
Yes.
Right?
I was going to say the hot tub store has to make sure these things are in place for every single customer.
Right.
And, not everybody's going to just have it.
Like, they have to have a way to help you do this.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're not going to be able to have it. And so that's like a step I just haven't taken, but I feel like I doubt they're just like, yeah, put it on the truck and you just take it home and, plug it in.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe it feels like step number 1 is you and I go to the hot tub store.
Yeah, we should do that.
Okay.
Yeah, which I think is like literally across the street from a brewery, so we could go get like a beer afterwards too,
Jay.
Yeah.
I love this plan.
This is a good plan, right?
I don't know why we didn't think of it sooner.
I know, yeah. Sounds great.
We really stand in our own way often, don't we?
We do. Stand in our own way. Don't stand in my own way. 2025 resolution.
Dude, I am not going to lie to you. I have 100% thought that it's like high on my resolution list.
It is. It is.
Get out of your own way,
stop
man.
being in your own way. Stop telling yourself you can't do things.
I know. Yeah. So I mean, like I even had this over the time off as well. We had New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And so we went to what I'm referring to affectionately as New Year's Rockin' Chair Eve.
Oh, this is a really good answer. Really good name.
Because we in Roanoke there is an annual event that celebrates New Year's Eve.
Yep.
At like the hotel that we have in Roanoke.
The hotel that we have plenty of hotels.
There are plenty of hotels, but
there is the Hotel Roanoke.
The Hotel Roanoke, which is like this really cool, like historic building, and it's like a Tudor style, and it's just like a living piece of history. And it's then in the meantime also probably the nicest hotel we have in Roanoke.
Absolutely the nicest hotel we have in Roanoke.
Yeah. So anyway, but I was like, okay, this will be really great. Like we can get tickets, it supports a good cause, like all that type of stuff. And then we'll have plans for New Year's because like we hosted a party for New Year's last year. And I was like, what I really want to do this year is not have to do anything. Of the work. Yeah. Like I just want to be able to go.
Just want to go have fun.
And have it figured out. And so it was like dinner was included, a champagne toast was included. They had like a balloon drop, like all these types of things.
Yep.
So like I call up, I don't really have like a whole lot of information about how it's going to work. I buy the tickets over the phone, which was the only way to do it, which maybe could have tipped me off. Because there wasn't like a web store to do such a thing.
Yeah.
You had to do it like over the phone.
You had to do it over the phone.
And then we got there, and I would say that the average age of the attendees was probably 60.
I mean, yeah, if not, like this is kind of what I thought. Like when I got home, I was like, it was like a wide age range, but like mostly older people, like, and like mom and dad had been watching our kids, and they were like, oh, so like we should have gone. And I was like, maybe older than you.
Yeah, I think older than mom and dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I think dad will be 65.
Yeah.
This year. So older than dad. Yeah. So I mean, I was joking with Isybelle before we walked in here because I was telling her a little bit about it. But I mean, there was like a 50 under 50 type of thing going on. So if there were like 500 attendees, I think 50 of them were under the age of 50.
We were among them.
And honestly, I would even say 50 might be high.
Might be high. It was it was a wide end. It wasn't like we were completely out of place or anything.
No, I mean, it was totally fun. But the thing that I thought was most incredible about the experience was like I was excited because I was like, it's New Year's, like I'll show up. I was gonna wear like my sequin jacket, and me and Allie were like, wow, let's go with the velvet jacket instead, because that's still like really cool. I was wearing like my like silver Nike sneakers. I was like, it's gonna be like, I'm gonna have like a total New Year's vibe, like it's gonna like, I bet this really stands out. Boy howdy, did it not stand out, because these folks were so well dressed.
Yeah.
And everybody was wearing like sparkles and full body, like, jackets and I mean, I was like, holy, I thought that I was going to go and be like, like maybe
like stand out. People were like, man, you see they got the silver shoes.
It's like, well, that's pretty cool. I mean, like he did it, and it's like, no way, man. These people, like, I mean, they meant business.
Yeah.
And so the point that I was getting to, not standing your own way, was they had a dance floor. And I mean, like, take any wedding you've ever been to and the number of people who willingly go out on the dance floor and quadruple it.
Yeah.
Like, that thing was overflowing.
Packed.
There were people, 10 feet after the dance floor ended, still dancing. And I was like, man, these people are here. They are having fun. And like, I've talked about it before, I'm always super in my head when it comes to like dancing in public. And like, it's like, I can't break free of the like my own mental chains of like looking silly or being embarrassed. And I can't exactly say that like I broke through all of those barriers, but I was like, you know what? Like, just have fun. And like, once I started having fun, I was like, this is fun.
Yeah.
I was like sweating a little bit. I was like, this is great.
Yeah. I mean, because it was like a real, like, it was like, well, if you're not going to dance, then what did you even buy tickets for?
Exactly.
Right. Because it was like, that occurred to me when we bought the tickets, because it was like, it's a dinner starts at 7. And I'm like, okay, dinner starts at 7. It says dinner's cleared at 8:30. I'm like, okay, but there's still... This is going to be like a 5-hour event.
Yeah.
It's like kind of long for making it all the way to midnight, so it's like, and after dinner, there's not like there was any other events. It was just music. It was just the dancing.
Right.
And it was just like, so either you're going to sit at the table or you're not. And like, if you're at a wedding, there's often like a dance floor and stuff, but it's like, you're there because you were invited to come to the wedding.
Right.
Like you have to be there and there's dancing. But this is like, you bought tickets to a dance. So so you better go dance.
You better go dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did that remove any of the barrier for you at all? It was like, well, like why else would I even be here?
I don't know if that I thought about it in that specific context, but there was no doubt about it that I was like, there's no point in just sitting in my chair.
Exactly.
Like, to what end? It's not like there's gonna be like a father-daughter dance, or like the groomsman toasts or whatever. Like,
it's none of that.
There's not like the theatrics. It's like there's one thing and it's that thing. So go and do it or don't. But no, so I thought that was really fun. Not to mention too, the other thing as well is like, and I don't know about you, but like staying up till midnight is not something I do very often anymore.
Not anymore. No.
But I'm looking around this room of people and I'm like, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it.
They can do it.
Like we're all in this together. We can make it.
Exactly. I know. I think it's the first time I've stayed up to midnight on New Year's in a while, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, especially since I was like, I was trying to think when the last time was. Like, I know our friends Jessica and Brandon, they used to do some New Year's like party stuff, and we would go there, and we'd stay up all the way there.
Yeah.
I was like, have I stayed up to New Year's since we moved into the new house? And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think I have.
Oh my gosh. So since like 2019?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Whoa.
I know. So it's been a while.
That's kind of wild.
It is, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Man, well, good for you.
Return to form.
Return to form. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's really like, maybe that's like the tee up for the year to come.
Exactly.
Yeah. So okay, I like that. I like that. It's like you're gonna go for it.
You're gonna go for it.
Not hold yourself back.
Hold yourself back. Yep. I was even kind of, this is gonna sound like such a different approach to not holding yourself back or whatever. But for the last couple of days of break, because it was a very busy break, those were like my days at home where I really actually had nothing to do.
Right.
And like, the kids, they're running around the house and whatnot. And I was just like, I am going to just go make time for myself right now. And I'm really going to try and not feel like guilty for not doing other things.
Right.
So I was just like, I would go downstairs and I was just playing Diablo 4.
Nice.
Yes, which is so fun.
I love it.
It's so fun.
Okay. So I gotta play.
I think you got to at least try it out, because it's like Diablo 3. It was something we waited for decades. We finally got it, and it wasn't as good.
It wasn't as good.
And I feel like they were like, okay, all right, hold on, let's try again.
We got it.
We learned Diablo 4. It's so good. It's so much fun. It's like all the parts of Diablo 2 that you want to be good, it's like they took those parts and made them really good.
I love it.
It's like, you know what? Oh, do you want to find unique stuff? Great. We'll drop really powerful stuff all the time. All the time.
Well, that's cool.
You get to do it. Yeah, it's like, don't worry about your gear being good. Worry about finding the right gear or whatever. You know, like anytime you have gear, like this is a fun part of it. Like you got a unique item. You have outgrown it. You need something with better defense, right? But that effect was so good. That effect on that item was so good.
Right.
You want that. So it's like, but what do I do? Well, when you like salvage it, craft it, that just gets added to your book of tricks or whatever. You can go add that skill to the next item.
Hey,
or whatever, you know.
That's so handy.
That's so handy. I mean, you got to find the resources to do all that and stuff, but it's just like, oh, I see. You're like, it's worth it to pick up everything because you're just collecting skills for later.
Dude, I do love that, because one of the big things about Diablo is normally you're running around like 99.9% of everything that drops does not need to be picked up.
Doesn't need to be picked up at all.
That makes it so not fun.
I know, it's not fun to pick up anything.
Yeah.
So this, just pick it all up. And if you get rid of it, just go to the blacksmith, salvage it all, turns into materials to craft other things.
Heck
Just pick everything. There's no reason not to. You're just hoarding materials, which is great. And the other thing I used to hate about Diablo 2 was that you would add stuff. It never felt like you were hitting stuff. Like, I don't know, there's an attack called Blizzard with the sorceress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just turns the whole screen into like a big blizzard. Stuff is hitting the ground all over the place, but I can't ever tell what's supposed to be hitting stuff.
Sure.
You know,
just an area attack.
Yeah, it's just an area attack. This would be like everywhere it hits is actually where it hits. And you're watching stuff explode. I don't know. It's just very fun. It feels like you're really hitting the enemies in the way that it says it's going to be hit.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. This is the real thing. It's like, we talk about doing like our Name of the Wind podcast in addition to our Harry Potter podcast through the Gryffindor. It's like, what is the world where we become like Diablo speedrunners or something?
Oh man, that'd be super fun too.
It's like we've entered the fray.
Yeah, we went into the fray. We're here we are now.
I cannot imagine a world where I sit down and it's like I am like my job is to play Diablo.
Oh right, yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
can't imagine.
Like, oh my gosh, it happened.
But to this end though, it's like how quality of life improvements. It's like you get into Diablo 2, it takes you, maybe you play for a few days, maybe you're up to like level 20 or 30 or something.
Yeah.
And it slows down a lot fast.
It does.
You know, I was like, Ben, I played for 2 days and I'm like level 44.
Whoa.
And it has not taken time at all. You know, you're constantly just growing, which is fun. It's fun to level up.
It is fun to level up.
Yeah.
It's an enjoyable part of the experience.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
So they just let you do it.
So should I go home and buy Diablo 4?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm surprised you don't have it or have it.
I know.
You should get it. It's fun. And it's just like it takes place in the same world. So you're revisiting a lot of the Diablo 2 places anyway.
There we go.
There you go.
Let's go check it out.
Super good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
New Year's resolution. Don't hold yourself back.
Don't hold yourself back. Play Diablo 4. That's another one. I will beat it. That's gonna not that I think it's gonna be very hard.
Right.
But I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna quit.
That's coming.
It's coming.
Okay.
We'll beat it.
Okay. I love it. There you go. Well, I feel like we're at a good point.
Yeah.
We've hit so many different topics.
I know. We've been all over. This is what happens when we're out of office for a week and a half.
I know, lots of stuff. We even have things in our show notes we didn't even touch.
We didn't even get to.
It's a great time to shout out after the final pop.
Yes.
Because I feel like we will have more to discuss this week for sure. But this is a little bonus, a little like something we have on our Patreon, where you get access to our entire back catalog of all the after the final pop. So if you've ever thought to yourself like, boy howdy, I sure wish that I had like a little bit more to listen to this week, then that is one way you can do so and support the show at the same time. So patreon.com/popcornculture and select that after the final pop tier. But otherwise, guys, until next time,
Pop.
Today's episode was edited by Isybelle Christley. Vaishon Brandon does our art. Catherine Stein is our production manager, and the show is hosted by me and Jonathan Carlin.